You don't need to burn your whole life down just because one part of you no longer fits. Some parts of your identity still serve you, and some need a healthier job. And some have completed their assignment. Today, we're deciding what stays, what changes, and what finally gets released. Welcome to the FitZen Project, where you are your most important project. This is the podcast for the high-functioning human who can manage a career, a family, a color-coded calendar, and everyone else's emotional emergencies. But somehow, you ended up riding shotgun in your own damn life. Your life may look perfectly fine from the outside, maybe even successful. But if you've ever thought, wait, is this what I actually want? Or am I just incredibly good at handling what landed on my plate? Then you're in the right place. Around here, we use honest conversations, yoga, and project management strategy to help you get out of autopilot, own your shit, and make courageous choices before another 5 years disappear into your to-do list. Because alignment is the new hustle, and you, my friend, are your most important project. So, in my conversation with Christopher Wesley, we explored the survival scripts that may be quietly directing our lives. Okay, and then in our yoga mini, we practiced svadhyaya. That's such a fun word to say. Svadhyaya. It's the self-study. It's to create enough space to notice one of those scripts without automatically obeying it. And we did the whole practice, and it's beautiful, and I would love for you to go back and listen to it if you haven't already. But now, with this episode, it's time to manage the change. Okay? So, becoming aware of your shit is powerful, but if you don't do anything differently, it's still just your same shit with really insightful explanation attached to it. Oh my gosh, ding, 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 ding. In project management, when someone wants to change an improved part of a project, they submit a change request. But a change request isn't automatically approved just because somebody had a new idea when you're actually working real world projects. Here's what I do first. I evaluate what's going on, right? You need to understand, why is this change needed? What problem is it going to actually solve? And what parts of the project will it affect? What risk could it create? Is this going to blow up my life? Or is this going to enhance my life? Like, let's really get clear. And you got to understand, does the value of making these changes outweigh the cost of leaving everything exactly as it is? And that's the real deal, Holyfield, right? Because that process is part of integrated change control. And this personal change in how to identify your change requests or change control, right? So, most of us handle identity changes in one of two ways. We either first avoid the change completely because it might make someone else uncomfortable, or number two, we get fed up and burn the whole damn thing down, and we call it transformation. And I've done both, okay? Not everything about your current identity needs to be demolished. Because some parts of you need to be kept, and some need to be modified. And then some have completed their assignment and they're ready to be released. For the love of God, let it go. So today, we're creating that identity change request. I want you to grab a notebook if you haven't already. At the top of the page, write down identity change request. Underneath it, name the script that you noticed when we did the yoga integration. So, for example, it could have been, I have to keep everyone happy. I want you to choose one pattern, not your entire personality, and we're managing that change. We're not going to launch a hostile takeover of your whole identity, not today, but we're just going to manage one change. So let's answer the first question. Like, what problem is this change meant to solve? For example, people pleasing is leaving you resentful. And then what is it costing you internally? How much the script costs? Your energy, your time, opportunities, relationships. Like, what is it costing you? I mean, maintaining the current state is still a decision. No decision is still a decision, and it still has a cost. Okay. So once you've identified the cost, you can move into its impact analysis. So if you change the pattern, like what or who gets affected? So let's say, for example, your script is I have to keep everyone happy. And if you stop automatically saying yes, then your time may improve, your energy may improve, but someone else who benefited from your lack of boundaries is probably going to become frustrated, right? And that doesn't mean that the change is wrong. It just simply means the change has an impact. And that's all we're doing right now is noticing this. And when you can anticipate the impact, you're less likely to panic and reverse your decision in the moment someone reacts to the new version of you. Ask yourself some more questions. Like, where are you going to experience resistance? And the biggest question of all, what support do you need to remain committed when the change becomes uncomfortable? Okay. Now divide your page into 3 sections. Okay. I want you to divide it into keep, modify, and release. And under the keep, write down the qualities within this identity that still serve you. Like if you're the person that everybody relies on, maybe you want to keep your dependability, the loyalty, the ability to solve problems. Because like those things are not flaws. As a matter of fact, like Christopher's message, it wasn't that we should throw away every quality that helped us succeed. That is not the point. It's that we need to understand which parts still belong in the next version of our lives, right? And then under the modify section, right, what needs a healthier expression? So, for example, like maybe dependability becomes I keep my commitments, but I don't automatically accept every request, period. Maybe you're an ambitious person, and maybe ambition becomes I pursue meaningful goals without using exhaustion as proof that I care. Oof, that's a biggie. So you're not necessarily removing the quality, you're changing the way it operates. And that's the key piece of project management, like change requests, right? So let's get to the release part. Like the release is writing down what's completed its assignment. So perhaps you're releasing the belief that disappointing someone makes you a bad person, or you're releasing the need to explain every boundary until everyone agrees with it, right? Like, or you're releasing the identity of being the only person capable of holding everything together. And while you're doing this, like you can appreciate how a pattern once protected you without giving it a lifetime contract. All right. So from here, we move a little bit deeper and we actually need an implementation plan. Okay. Because a change request without approved action is just paperwork. So let's go ahead and implement this. And I need you to ask yourself, what is one visible action that would prove this change has begun? Not someday, not after everyone understands, or you feel completely confident, but what can you do within the next 7 days? Make this actionable. So if you're modifying people pleasing and your action might be waiting an hour before answering a request instead of immediately saying yes, right? So that's a solid step forward. Or if you're releasing perfectionism, for example, your action might be submitting something when it is complete and useful instead of endlessly polishing. And, what if you're changing the identity of being the strong one and your action might be asking one trusted person for specific help? That's a big deal. So if you're learning to choose your life instead of simply managing it, your action might be protecting 1 hour for something that matters to you. Like, even if it accomplishes absolutely nothing for anyone else. So I want you to write it down. Write down your action. Decide when you're going to do it. Like, a real change needs an owner and a date. Okay? And now, congratulations, my friend. You are the owner. So, before we close this out, I want to review the identity change requests here. So we're asking ourselves, what script are you changing? What is it costing you to leave it unchanged? Who or what will be affected? What are you keeping? What are you modifying? What are you releasing? And what is the first courageous action that makes the change real? That, my friends, is integrated change control applied to your self-leadership. So, you're not impulsively blowing up your life, okay? You're looking honestly at the current state, understanding the impact, preserving what still works, and intentionally implementing what needs to change. Your job's not to make the change painless for everybody. Your job is to determine whether it's aligned for you and then lead yourself through that responsibility. And what I loved about Christopher's whole entire conversation with me is that he helped us understand why the old identity formed in the first place. And the yoga practice, this svadhyaya, that helped us hear the script without immediately obeying it. And this that we did just now, this identity change request, it provides you a way to move from awareness into action. Because the goal of the FitZen project isn't to help you become even better at analyzing your life. It's to help you get out of autopilot, own your shit, and make the courageous choices required to create a life you actually choose. Because alignment is the new hustle, and you are your most important project.